Morning everybody, happy Monday, happy new week. Sorry I'm a little bit late, got a bit held up. Hope you're all well. In various stages of that at this point in time on planet Earth. Hi everyone, sorry I'm a bit late. Welcome, happy to have you here. How are you? How are you all doing? I want to talk about two things today. One is being squeezed and the other is being done. Okay, so I want to talk about being squeezed and being done. How are you all? There's a question already. Good request to join. Okay, so let me start with being squeezed. Okay, so these are the two things that sort of came as being the most important things to talk about today, because they're the things that I have most seen and sort of received feeling flat over it. You're going to be, so the done part is going to speak to you. The done part is really going to speak to you, and let me know if you get from it what you needed to hear today. So let me start with being squeezed. We're all being squeezed right now in various ways. Like literally the whole of humanity is being squeezed. The whole of like planet Earth in a way is being squeezed, right? So you might be being squeezed out of things, out of work, out of your like sort of feeling part of your family, friendship circles, you know, just out of your safety, comfort zones, but we're all being squeezed. And what I'm seeing a lot is blaming what is coming out of us when we're squeezed on the external. And if we're going to be responsible, sovereign, consciously living beings, that needs to stop. Because when you are squeezed, the only thing that can come out of you is what is in you, okay? If you don't know this lesson or this sort of teaching that Wayne Dyer used to do, I'm going to share it with you. He used to, in his talks, bring an orange. And he would ask the audience, if I squeeze this orange, what will come out of it? And obviously they would all say, orange juice. And he said, okay, so no matter how hard I squeeze it, no matter in what way I squeeze it, or how long I squeeze it for, can I get anything out of this orange that is not inside this orange? And of course we would all agree, no. So I want to remind you of that, because right now you're being squeezed in many different ways, and what's coming out of you is what was in you, not blamed on some external thing. We cannot get out of you, no matter what situation you're put in, I'm put in, we're put in as a humanity, or we're put in as a group. What will come out of us when we are squeezed is what is there. And so part of the being squeezed process is, of course, to take responsibility for what's there, but also to recognize that what is coming out of me is the stuff that can't come along. So just like if, you know, we lance a boil or we pop a pimple or we, you know, if there's a wound and it's infected or whatever, and we go, okay, well, we're going to have to get that out in order for the healing to occur. We have to get rid of the pus, the gunk, the whatever. Sorry if you're having breakfast, nurse, that's of course the examples that are coming to my mind. We're going to have to get rid of all the gunk in order for the healing to occur. So you are being squeezed, not out of punishment, not out of having done anything wrong, not out of anything other than it is a required part of the process in order to get from where we are to where we wish to be as a humanity, as an individual, as a planet. Whatever is in there that it is not able to come along because it just will not be a match, needs to come out. But when it comes out, if you don't take responsibility for it, if you're not compassionate with yourself as you're releasing it, if you're not allowing it to be a conscious process and you are busy looking for who to blame, then it's not going anywhere. It literally just, what it does is it rises and then it will go back down. It rises, you blame someone else and it'll go back down, and you go, no, get it back down. This is uncomfortable. This can't possibly be mine. This anger, this fear, this conflict, the way I'm behaving, this isn't me. I'm not like this. And when you look to blame somebody else or something else, it will literally just be pushed back down and it's not going anywhere. But if you allow, at this point when it comes up, if you look at it and you go, oh, look at this here. This is clearly mine. Yes, it might be in response to me. It's in response to a trigger, but it's mine. If it wasn't here, it couldn't be here. And if what you then do with it, you can get rid of it permanently. Okay? Speak to me about that part of today's concept before I go on to the next one. Is that making sense? I think you might need to listen to this today. Oh, you've tagged someone. Great, perfect, beautiful. Thank you. And please share it. You know, obviously, if it helps you, please share it. How is this resonating with you all? Are you finding in the squeeze, and literally, I promise you, there is no one that is not being squeezed right now. Everyone on planet Earth is being squeezed right now. Can you relate to stuff coming up and then looking for who to blame or who is creating that or causing you to be and behave or think in that way? That's not to say that we aren't being manipulated to think and behave and feel in certain ways, for sure. But the way to stop someone manipulating you is to be really conscious of your own stuff. And when it comes up, okay, so let's say I turn on the TV and it wants to manipulate me into hating a certain group or into being in fear. And as I'm watching it, I'm feeling that rise. Okay, that's mine. They can't manipulate or create something in me that is not already there. So as it comes up, if I recognize, okay, they're actually triggering mine to come up, even if mine is now against them, even if my conflict is against a different group to what they want me to have it for, it's what I do with it then by going, okay, well, let me release that in a conscious way, in a mindful way, in a compassionate way. Let me be compassionate with myself. Let me sit with my humanness and go, well, this is there. It's not surprising. It's programmed from birth. It's part of what I'm feeling. It's part of what we're all feeling. It's a navigational system. My emotions are a navigational system for me. If I sit with it like that, if I ask it what it has to tell me, if I look at for where my power is within it, then that is healing for me. And they've literally triggered me into a healing. And everything that you encounter can be used for your benefit in that way. If you're living consciously, everything that you encounter can be used for your benefit. I have found rage surfacing from the squeeze. Yep. And rage is one of those things that women are always taught not to feel. And rage is, of course, a normal emotion like anything else. It's a navigational tool. It's a navigational system. It is in us. It's not surprising it's in us. It's what we do with it when it shows up. It's how we speak to ourselves about having rage. You know, women kind of get taught to kind of be beat up on themselves mentally if they have anger, whereas men get taught to be like that with themselves if they have fear or if they have sadness. We've got to get rid of all that crap, all that, you know, inverted programming, all that insanity, and what we do with it when it comes up. And don't look for anyone to blame. Thank them. Go, thanks for bringing that up in me. Now I can release some of that in a way that actually serves me in a powerful and a proactive way. And I am healthier as a result of this interaction. I am healthier as a result of this time in history. I am moving more and more and more into being a match, into being a sovereign being that allows me to live in the manner that I know is the right way for me to live on this planet. Sometimes rage was the only way I could get the truth across. That is when you don't feel in your power. Rage comes from our gut. Anger, rage comes from our gut when we don't feel we're allowed to say what we want to say. And it does this kind of oof behind the emotion. So if you want to say no, or if you want to, tell someone to get away from you, or truth in any sense, have your voice be heard, and you feel frightened about that. Like the mind is saying, we're not going to be safe doing that. This is not going to be received well. You're going to be rejected, or you're going to be harmed, or you're going to be ridiculed, or any of those things. Then anger, which is when we're not which is our gut not in our power, will do a big oomph behind it to kind of like push it out the door, right? Push it out the door and go, get out there. That's okay. That's good. That's better than shut up. However, the delivery will then set into motion a response from the person or the group that you're delivering it to, because of the energy that it's being delivered. And then what happens is we receive the response back like that, and then we go, see, I knew it wasn't safe. I knew it wasn't safe. Okay, so there's a lot in that. There's a lot in that. Feeling and acknowledging those feelings of fear, because ultimately I'm human and am going to feel them. Feeling doesn't mean being, though, exactly. And fear is your guidance to let you know you've veered off path, you've forgotten who you are, and you're not able to see your power at that time. It's just the least evolved part of your mind, my mind, all of our minds, being frightened. It needs us to sit with it. Like I always say, be the adult in the room, sit with your fear, ask it what it needs you to know, and then remind yourself, I'm feeling this because I have forgotten who I am. I have forgotten I'm the adult in the room, and I have forgotten my power. Okay. All right. So that's the being squeezed part, and taking responsibility for what comes out will be the difference between healing or being manipulated and becoming more and more unconscious and actually more and more uncomfortable. Because the only way to get comfortable is to move through the uncomfortable. We cannot, as humans, we have been taught purposefully, because that's how we have stayed numb and dumb and manipulated. We've been taught purposefully to suppress our feelings, to not be uncomfortable. We've been taught that success and a reward in life, or a sign that you are, what's a good word? A sign that you are evolved, or that you are conscious, means that you're not uncomfortable. And that is not true. That is not true. There is no growth without discomfort. And the person who is, say, if we're going to talk in hierarchy, but it doesn't work that way, but just bear with me just for the ease of language. If we're going to talk about being more evolved or being more conscious, then more aware, then that person does not have less discomfort than the lesser conscious being at this point in time, in this way. They are merely better now at being in the discomfort, at navigating the discomfort. Do not look around and go, who doesn't look uncomfortable? And they must not be feeling discomfort, and let me follow them. Feel into whether you want to listen to them. Feel into whether you're going to get good guidance from them, because if they're telling you to whitewash it, to suppress it, to move beyond it, to any of those things, they are not giving you good tools to grow. If they're saying to you, see, I have a post about the pile of shit in the corner, right? Go back and find it. If they're telling you to ignore the pile of shit in the corner, they are saying to you, that thing's really uncomfortable. Just don't look at it. Let's just pretend it's not here. That is not how you evolve and move and grow. It's not. It's about, no matter how big that pile of shit in the corner is, I do not forget who I am. I do not forget my power. I choose me. I stay aligned to my path, to my choices, to where I'm going. I stay connected to my wisdom. I do all the things that help connect me to whatever you want to call that. And I move through my life in that way. They're still in the discomfort. It's just using it as a navigational tool and moving through the discomfort. Okay, find strength in softness. Yep, love that. I had to learn to say no. Absolutely. You can always know someone that doesn't feel okay saying no, because they'll usually shout it, or they'll say it in a really kind of passive aggressive way, or they'll say it to you with, like, you'll say, you know, hey, would you be able to do this for me on the weekend? And they'll say, no, I can't because, and then like 15 minutes later, you're still standing there and they're still telling you why they can't. Like, they're kind of 3 clues on people who really feel uncomfortable saying no. And actually, usually the 4th one, they're very resentful to people who say no very easily. Often, I'm not saying that's you, but that's kind of how you can look around and find people that are really uncomfortable. Choose your battle. Well, absolutely always choose your battle, because know that do you want to spend your... Okay, choose your battle. That's actually a beautiful segue into I'm done, which is the other thing I'm going to talk about today, being done. Choose your battle, absolutely, because it's your energy and it's your power. And do you want to waste it, especially at this time? Knowing how exhausted you might be, how depleted you might be, how squeezed you are right now, how many things you're encountering in a day. Do you want to spend time arguing? Do you want to spend time trying to convince somebody of something that they don't want to hear, that they're not ready to hear, that is not even for them? Do you want to spend your time justifying to other people what your choices are and why you believe what you believe? And, I think it always surprises people that I don't do a lot of research into much of anything. Once I have my own understanding and awareness in me of why I feel the way I do, I'm good. I have no need to understand why I'm not going to have in order to be able to do a video that you can share with your relatives and your friends who are suspicious of anybody that uses certain words in a video, or anybody that's already been debunked, or if it's not presented in a beautiful way that does not make them uncomfortable or stretches them in any way. I'm saying that because I know a lot of you do say, what can I share with my family who are really mainstream? And the minute they hear this or the minute they hear that, they're going to switch off. I'm not interested in that. I don't need your family to understand it. Only I need to understand it. And when I speak here, the right people will find it. And I'm not interested in wasting my energy and my precious, precious, precious resources at this point in time on anyone other than myself, and on anyone other than who is not in the place and the space to be responsible, to be conscious, and to be understanding things like, when you're squeezed, what comes out is what's in there. I haven't got time for anything else. I become too exhausted and just let go and try not to feel bad. So why would you feel bad? Why would you feel bad? I become too exhausted tells you everything you need to know. This is not a good use of my energy. Now, if you become exhausted though because of the way you speak to yourself about the way you've presented it, or about the way you speak to yourself about, I don't know enough, I wish I knew more. If you start to beat yourself up after conversations, then obviously you need to look at how you're exhausting and depleting yourself, right? But if you are living as an ally, if you are living conscious, if you are doing all those things and you walk away from a conversation exhausted, then to go back is self-abuse. Yep, that's it. My energy and time are priceless. Absolutely. Okay, so beautiful segue into the energy of I'm done. I hear that a lot. I see that comment a lot on social media posts. I'm done. Right, I'm done. Okay. Now there's two energies to I'm done. Most people, you're welcome. Most people are writing I'm done and thinking, well, they would be writing it from a place of, I don't want anything more to do with this. But that is not the energy that they're coming from. The first I'm done, which is what you generally see on social media, or a lot of people are in this right now. Let me know if you are. It's the depleted and defeated I'm done. I am done. And that is an I'm done that is nowhere near done. That is an I'm done where you've still got a spin cycle, a dry cycle, and you're still going to be hung on the line to go. After that, I'm done. The defeated and depleted I'm done is you defeated by the situation. It's you in your victim mentality. It's you feeling powerless. It's you not having a clue what to do with this situation and feeling totally overwhelmed by it and feeling like it's got you by the balls. The reason people write the I'm done is because they think they're in the other energy of I'm done. The healthy, the empowered energy of I'm done is this. You're in a conversation with someone on social media. There's a bit of toing and froing. You're in a conversation with someone in real life. The news is triggering you. Something is happening. Whatever you're encountering. The empowered I'm done results in you recognizing I am removing my part in this. I am no longer playing this game. I am no longer having this conversation with you. I am no longer giving you my power because this feels like shit to me. Because this does not feel good. Because this is never ending. Because this isn't going anywhere. Because we're talking in circles. Because you're being disrespectful. You'll see people have this I'm done. Look for it today. Look for comments on social media where people go, right, I'm done. And they don't mean that at all. By their I'm done, they mean I'm going to go and stew on it. I'm going to go and be pissed off with it. I'm going to go and tell 10 people about it. I'm going to have another 15 comment interaction with you. And that is not I'm done. That is, you know what? I'm so depleted, I'm going to feed it even more. I'm going to throw everything at it that I've possibly got. Because by I'm done, I actually mean I am a victim to this and I need you to stop what you're doing. Whereas I'm done is so powerful when in the right way, when used in the right way, when used with a powerful intention. I'm done is then usually not said. I'm done is then usually a shift in energy and a complete withdrawal from your part in feeding it. Does that make sense? I go between both. Yeah, I reckon most of us would. Some are maybe stuck in one, and then I think, for most of us it would be between both. But let me know how that resonates with you. Let me know if you can relate to that. Let me know if you have seen examples of this in the comments where you go, yeah, I've seen that. Where people say I'm done and then throw everything at it and the kitchen sink. Oh my, I remember the moment I realized I was a victim. I was not good looking at what I allowed. I was not good at looking what I allowed. Yes, I can relate to you. I can relate to that because I know that victim mind. I lived in it for a very long time. I fully know it. That's why all of my work is about reminding you of your power, because I fully know what it's like to forget that you have any. Definitely can relate to that. Brilliant. So today, if you're being squeezed, what's coming out is what's in there. Don't judge it. Don't blame it away. Don't go looking for the culprit. What's coming out is what needs to come out, because it cannot come with you. Cannot come with you. If you are on this channel, if you are listening to this and you are still here after almost half an hour, you are definitely part of building the new. There's no doubt about it. You certainly intend to be part of building the new. If you are part of that, the old, all of that can't come along. It just simply cannot, which is why so much is falling away. So if you're being squeezed, you can actually use that for what's coming up. You can actually use that for healing, for being more conscious, and for ensuring that no one can manipulate you with it, because you're going, oh, that's mine. Oh, that's mine. Okay, that's mine. That'd be mine. Let me just pick that up because that'd be mine, and let me sit here with what I can do with this. I'm not going to blame it on you. And I'm not going to just leave it sitting out on the floor, just in a constant spewing out and allowing people to step on it and have me be triggered and have me be like a raw nerve going all through my life and have me be so easily manipulated. And the I'm done, I am done, and the I'm done energy, and really feel into the difference between those two, and see if when you feel in that one, you can even just reminding yourself of this, even just reminding yourself, actually, I'm saying I'm done, but how much am I feeding this? If I was really done, I'd stop feeding it. Start practicing that. Yes, I've been in victim mode before and find myself Fellini for back, falling back. Yes, be gentle, notice it, sit with it, but don't dwell. Well, you know what? It depends on what dwell is, because sometimes I've ruminated over things for years before I've really gotten it. It sort of depends on what you mean by dwell. I understand what you mean by dwell, and I agree. But let's also not be too quick at going, right, you know, aren't you done with that yet? Aren't you done with that yet? You know, the whole term of being over something. I mean, I did a video on this on YouTube about 4,000 years ago. It's one of my first ones, so it'll be shit. You can go back and you can have a laugh at how bad I used to be at speaking to the camera. You know, aren't you over that yet? As though you can magically jump over something, or as though you can swim under it, or as though you can bypass it, when really all we can ever do is go through it. And that takes us different lengths of time for different people. Falling back. Dwell for me is feeling sorry for myself. Yeah. I was in a women's refuge when that light bulb moment happened of being a victim. I allowed it. Beautiful. So powerful. And please know that that everything that happened up to that point in time was all part of your material, was all part of your lesson for you, was so powerful. They were your reminders. If you can send them love, brilliant. I mean, when you can send them love, then you know you're done. I'm done. I am done. And that's not even necessarily about, right, I'm done, I'm never going to think about it again. I'm done, I'm never going to look at these people again. Or, you know, some of the people in your lesson may well be still in your life today. It's about, I am done with, you know, the other thing that I've written about is, so one of my big light bulb moments came from the Bernard Fanning song called Songbird. And, you know, I love that song at the time, whenever that was out. And there's a line in it that says, Songbird, you've got a tale to tell. How many times can you describe your living hell? And there was one day where it played in my mind, and I was like, it was like a revelation. It was like, you know, angels, cherubs trumpeting, and it was like bling, bling, bling. And I thought, oh my God, that is exactly what I have been doing. I have been telling this tale of woe, this tale of, and that's when you know you're done. Not when you're over it, it's completely in the past, it's never spoken of again. But when you can use it as your material, when you own it, when you know your part in it, when you go, that is what that taught me, and for that I am grateful. They were the players. I mean, in my book, I actually talk about the fact that they're all souls that have taken on a role in your life. I talk about, I don't talk about this, but I have talked about this, the love that I have for my father, that he played the role of the asshole. Can you imagine how much love a soul has for you, that when they're sitting around and they're doing the casting and they go, right, who's going to play the asshole so that from the outside it looks like, well, this guy's not much good and whatever. Put up their hand in your life and go, okay, yep, I'll do it. It's easy to play the nice guy in any role, but to play the asshole, that takes an extra special soul and a lot of love. And if that's triggering you, just don't worry about it. Just breathe through it, and it's not meant for you at this point. But yes, when we can move beyond being the victim of our lives, the power that we have, But also, if you've gone through that, it will have been for a reason. A, to remind yourself of your power, and it may well be part of your journey, just like it was mine, to remind other people of their power. So it's your material. All right, any questions? I'm not going to have anyone join me today, but I'm happy to have that in the future. It's just that today I've already spoken on quite a bit. We can totally do a Q&A at some other point in time. Thank you, Sue. That victim stuff was over 40 years now. Well, it doesn't go anywhere, does it? I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. It either sits and festers or it becomes your material. One or the other. You either use it as your pot of gold and you go, hang on, oh, yep, here's that thing. Hang on, there's, it's literally like, so you would come to me and say, have you got a pink cardigan? Which I would never have a pink cardigan. I don't know where that came from. Have you got a grey cardigan? Yes, I do. Many. Let me go have a look. And I can use it. I can use it to give to you. I can use it to share with you. I can use it for myself. That is what that pot of gold of material is like. Why would we want it to go anywhere? Why would we want to throw it away? What we get rid of is the detail that keeps us stuck in what they did to us, and we move to what was here for me to learn. What was the material that I was able to transmute, transform? What was I able to build in my life as a result of this? That is then when we own it, it is ours. We have taken responsibility, and we have actually remove the energy of the other person, because although the other person, great, they're playing a powerful teacher role in your life, when they're here, they've got their own stuff. They've got their own toxic, they've got their own lessons, they're doing the exact same thing you're doing. And if they're doing stuff and heaping their pain onto you, yep, you can get your gold from that, and then you go, and the rest is yours. And that's a powerful and important part of the process too, because you don't bring them along in their human 3D form. You can bring them along in their soul form, and then they can continue to be a teacher. It has helped with others. Brilliant. Great. Had another event at the park recently. My inner dialogue was so different. No longer victim thought, shifted to show me my growth. Beautiful, Sue. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Love that. So I'm gonna give you some time to write some questions, comments if you want to, and I wasn't necessarily going to talk about this, but I'm not flogging the book. There is so much free material without you ever paying any money. Don't get to this point if you're watching it for the first time and go, okay, she's flogging the book. I'm not flogging the book. What I'm doing is letting you know I am going to, this Sunday, the group of ladies that are currently doing Inner Critic to Inner Guide finish their program. So from next Wednesday, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm taking 2 weeks off work, and I'm taking 2 weeks off social media. But I want to tell you about this now in case you want to join, because I will not be around for a couple, so I won't yet be sort of really, well, you might miss it. I'm going to do kind of a book club with me, but it will be a deep dive into the book. It'll be a deep dive into the book. It is going to be on Zoom, private, recorded, so it doesn't matter what time zone you're in, and I'm going to go through each chapter. It's a thin book, but there's a lot in it, and so I want to share with you the deeper lessons, the deeper take-home messages. I want you to be able to ask me questions specifically to each chapter. It's a very practical book. So if you don't know what this book is about, set the tone. Nothing can change until you do. Hopefully fairly self-explanatory. But everything that I teach is in here. So owning your power, moving from the victim brain to the wise, moving from the critic to the guide, creating permanent and lasting change. Everything I teach is in here. So it's going to start on the 11th of November, and I'm telling you now because things are taking a long time to get anywhere with post. If you don't know, it's because they're all striking. There are so many industries striking right now, and you will not hear about it on mainstream media. But it's why all of your post is taking a really long time. So, in my bio, if you go to my link tree, there are links to buy it wherever you want to buy it, whether you want to buy it at Amazon, a book depository, wherever you want to buy it. Order it. If you already have it, great. If you've already read it, you can reread it with me, or you can just sit in on the lessons. If you haven't read it and you want to, order it now. If it doesn't get there on the first one, don't worry about it. Like, you'll be able to follow along. So we're going to go a chapter for each Zoom. It's going to start on the 11th of November and go through to the 25th of March. It's going to be every fortnight on a Thursday night at 7:30 Melbourne time. So Australian Daylight Savings time. Private, it's going to be $200. $200 Australian is going to get you 10 hours of me, but interactive, because we're going to be on a Zoom. So private space, recorded if you can't attend, questions ahead of time. You read the chapter, and then I will cover in this style the main aspects of that chapter that are the take-home lessons, and then we'll have question time. All right? If you can think of a name that would do it justice, let me know, because I can't. And I don't really just want to call it book club. But anyway, let me see what you're all saying. Yes, sounds great, awesome, beautiful. Flog the book, I haven't seen it. Thank you. People forget that, like, at the end of the day, this is a business account, and this is what I do for a living. I'm in, brilliant. I'm in too, fabulous, blessings. Oh, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? And I will obviously do a separate post about this. And I will probably do like a join up link thing in my link tree. But yes, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, because it'll be recorded and sent to you. Thank you, that's beautiful. No questions? Sounds good, great. So yeah, it wouldn't matter if you've read it, if you haven't read it, and you can ask me any questions on it. That's what I was saying. It's a very practical book. So you can do them, follow them along throughout. A fortnight is definitely long enough to read a chapter. But if you go, you know what, I don't want to rush the practical stuff, don't. Do it in your own time, in your own way. And that'll be perfect for you. All right, folks. Great conversation today. Squeezed and being done. Which one of those are you feeling from? Because the second one is powerful, and that would be great if we kind of get a big chunk of us getting to that. Ooh, how differently would things look, but we don't need to wait for that. Things can look differently in our lives just for us when we get to that. All right, you're welcome. Thank you everyone for your comments, your discussion, your questions too. Thank you. Questions always help me to know what you want to know. So yes, and let me know. So none of the comments will save. So when I save it and share it, if you come up with a good question, if you come up with a good name for this book club, let me know. Let me know. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you. Have a great day as well. Much love to you. And go forth in your power and lead well. All right. Take care.